You are watching Wyrd, a weekly live stream featuring survival horror, science fiction, and fantasy authors Alan Gamboa, Scott Baker, Rich Restucci, and Hadley Thorne. They get together to discuss, debate, and dissect the latest new movie releases, personal recommendations, and their week-by-week after viewing responses to a current streaming series. Like, follow, and subscribe to Wyrd Realities on all our social media at Linktree. That's linktr.ee/Wyrd Realities, and that's Wyrd with the Y. Be sure to check out our webpage and subscribe to our monthly newsletter where we highlight our partners, followers, Wyrd kids, talk latest books releases, and more. That's at www.wyrdrealities.net.
Happy Thursday, everybody.
Howdy, we're finally in October.
I know, and it's still hot here.
I know. It was like 80 for 2 or 3 days in a row up here.
Well, that's like 90 is here, isn't it? Yeah, let me see. This week it's actually like 73 right now. And we have a 20% chance of rain. But yeah. Oh, we're getting a cold front. It's going to be in the 60s.
Oh, I'm just hoping up here it's nice this weekend because I got that outdoor Salem Haunted happening.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be fun. Are you going to video it for us?
I'm going to take videos of it, yes. Landa's here.
So
hey, Landa.
Mike's doing it.
Evening.
Hey, Mike. Mr. Restucci is not going to be on tonight. He is going to bed. He is feeling under the weather.
Oh, that's too bad.
I'm violating his HIPAA rights by saying that.
Mr. Restucci is at Area 51 conducting technological research on the new UFO that was found in China last week.
Oh, wow. Man, good for him. He is a scientist.
Yes.
Right? They know everything. They do everything.
Yeah. That's right.
So that means Hallie gets to explain a show tonight, and you get to explain a show tonight.
I'm doing my pick. My pick was the Dampyr. So
Dampyr.
Do we want to do Dampyr first?
We don't have to, but we could. Are we going to do our question of the week first?
Ash Hall is in the house.
Hey, Ash. Well, let's do our question of the week, and happy Halloween month, everybody. Let's do our question first.
What is the scariest book you've ever read?
Ooh. I can tell you mine right off the bat.
Go ahead.
Peter Straub's Ghost Story. There was a line in there where a guy turns into a werewolf, and it just made the hairs in the back of my neck stand up. I read it. I was probably about 19 when I read 18 or 19 when I read it, but that's the scariest book to me I've read.
Tony and Max are here. Hello.
Evening, guys.
There is no book that scared me. I'm getting to the point I'm immune from that. However, the one book that disturbed me, that I felt very uncomfortable reading, was McCormick's The Road.
Oh, really?
And that's because it was so realistic. You know, there was no fighting zombies. There was no breaking into stores to ransack it. The world had gone to absolute crap. And these people were trying to survive under the worst possible conditions. And, you know, by the end of the book, I'm like, why did you guys even bother? I would have put that under those conditions. I probably would have put a gun to my head a long time ago.
Well, we have that where we need to go on. That's what I feel is you need to go till you stop, you know. I don't know. That's just me. As long as we have candy corn,
that would be the only thing not eaten before the apocalypse.
Then I'm fine. Hadley, what about you?
I don't know. I mean, I'm going to have to. Okay, so The Stand really scared me when I was young. I read it when I was probably in the 4th or 5th grade, which I probably shouldn't have.
Yeah.
That was, and apparently it stuck with me because I've had a zombie apocalypse plan since like 1985. So that should say something about my personality. But I'd say recently, and I know that, you know, we know him, but Jonathan Mayberry writes some frightening stuff.
Yeah, he does. It's different though.
Did you read Ghost Road Blues?
Yes.
Oh,
That's one that got me. And then there's a short story that he did that it's in that like town. So it's in that world, but it's a short story and I listened to it on my way to the coast a couple of months ago and I mean it stuck with me, you know. It's one of those that it just kind of he has such great visualizations in it.
Yeah.
But Ghost Road Blues is the character that he wrote and that is a terrifying character.
It like you said, when you're older, you don't get as scared. Things do make you feel uncomfortable or whatever. But when you're younger, like when I read Ghost Story, like I'd probably read it now, and it'd probably be like, oh, wow. But I was just at the perfect age to for it to frighten me. But
I don't know if
Salem's Lot's got me too.
I don't know if I was just psychologically off from a very young age,
Well,
or my mother. It probably was. That was the main reason. But I liked horror, and my mother gave me horror books to read. And the first things I got reading were Jules Verne, Edgar Allan Poe.
yeah.
So when you're reading this stuff, it's like, they buried a guy alive in the wall. Ha ha ha, he deserved it. So, when I finally switched over to the first real contemporary horror book my mother gave me, and it like changed my life literally, was The Manitou by Graham Masterton. The one about the Indian medicine man who comes back on the woman's chest and they think it's a tumor and they x-ray it and he's born.
Not a tumor.
It's not a tumor. And he comes back as this deformed creature that's trying to kill everyone. That would have terrified most. I'm 10 years old sitting there at 3 a.m. like, yeah.
No, I read that one too. It's a good book.
Yeah.
It's so huge too. And then you see the movie.
Oh God, the movie.
Yeah.
That's a movie I would like to see them remake.
Yeah.
And I love all of Graham Masterton's stuff. I mean, the Devils of D-Day, where the Nazis raised like 13 demons and put them in tiger tanks and then made sure that one of the tiger tanks never made it back to base so they could keep the demons nullified. Oh,
what?
Oh, wow.
Devils of D-Day. It is.
I gotta look that up.
It's a fascinating book.
You know what we really need to do?
What? Drink heavily?
We need that too, but we really need to do a list, like a top list of all of our readers and writers on our website.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Because I know, like, if I'd never heard of that book, and I know Alan's always mentioning stuff that I want to read, and it would be nice to be able to refer back to when I'm book shopping.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to read a lot. I don't read so much anymore, which is a shame.
No. I never get to read. I always say, all right, I'm going to knock off around 2:30, 3 o'clock. I'm going to sit in front of the TV and read. And the next thing I know, Fred's asleep in my lap and the book's on the floor. So.
You're not mentioning that you're napping too.
Oh, I'm like sound asleep.
That tilt one back to me.
Gosh, I was the one that said drinking heavily. So I think you already had too much.
I'm on it. Mountain Dew Zero. Major Melon. There we go. Yes.
Iced coffee. Black. No sugar. Like I tell the girl at Dunkin' Donuts, I like my coffee like I like my soul. Cold and dark.
Cold and dark.
All right. So on that note, let's get started.
All right.
Okay.
So the movie of the week was Mr. Harrigan's Phone.
Right.
And my choice of the week was Dampyr, however you say it. I think it's a tomato thing.
Right. Well, you want Scott? Do you want to do the movie description? Or are you set up for one? Or
I will do the movie description for Mr. Harrigan's Phone because Hadley wants to do Dampyr.
Okay. Let's start with Dampyr then. I can see Hadley's all ready to go.
Not really. I'm winging it. I was hoping Mr. Restucci would be here. So I've been wanting to see this movie since I saw previews. Y'all know that I try and keep up with the trailers of what's coming out so we can kind of have an idea of what we're going to be watching. And I saw this and I thought, oh my God, this is going to be so great. I was not disappointed. The plot of this movie, which by the way is based on a comic book series, is that the plot is set in the Balkan War in the early 90s, and it's Harlan Draka wanders the countryside, shamelessly making money with these him and his friend are a con artist, pretending to be a Dampyr, half human, half vampire. And they're just kind of stumbling through working these villagers that believe they're these evil monsters. Well, surprise, surprise, he gets called back by these soldiers who know him, and they're actually under attack by real vampires, and they've been sent to get him. So he kind of finds out the truth that he actually is a Dampyr, and the story goes from there. And he's, at war with these vampires. And I mean, the setting of this movie was just perfect. If y'all like vampires, you know that I love them, and it had that apocalyptic flair. It was just gritty. It was gritty and good, and the vampire was just totally amazing. I love the smoke with the fire in it, and it was just incredible visually. I mean, I can't say anything bad about this movie. I'm not going to go into it at all because everybody in this chat room needs to watch this movie. So I'm leaving it at that, and I'm going to say I give this one before anybody else even talks. It's a 5-star for me.
This one, the setting in this was unique. The war in the Balkans in the 90s. It was kind of a weird crossbreed of a movie because it's like it wanted to be like Van Helsing, but yet you had the grittiness of the war, and the sadness of the war. So the way they did it was okay. I did enjoy this movie. But I think it wanted to be a bigger film. And I think maybe there's stuff that was edited out. It moved once it got going, it moved rather fast. So it seems like there were pieces missing.
Well, to me, that's the comic book aspect of it.
Yeah.
We don't know how much of the liturgy's been cut out.
Right.
Because it did jump from like his birth, which was hundreds of years ago, to now. So there's obviously a big scope in what happened to the baby. What happened,
right.
He was raised by these 3 witches, or were they the brides? I've got questions.
Yeah, it doesn't go into that.
But I think how I left the movie was I've got to find these comic books and read them.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
I don't think they were the brides, because he wasn't Dracula. I think they were just witches that were protecting the Dampyr, keeping him alive so the vampires couldn't eliminate him.
Yeah.
Did you see the end though?
Yes, and I don't want to give it away. But
okay.
even then, I still don't think they were the brides. I just think they were the witches. And then they were kick-ass witches.
Well,
I am going to give a spoiler because I have to make a comment about it. In the very first scene, when the lightning's crackling and the old thing and the baby's being born and that witch is at the window, her face going from youthful and beautiful to the old crone was fucking sharp.
Yes.
Hadley, we've got a cuss from Hadley there.
Yeah. Y'all know, y'all look forward to it. They probably have a drinking game for it now.
Yeah.
It was like I said, I like the setting of it, and it was entertaining. It wasn't anything what I thought it would be. The poster for this does not do the movie justice. It makes it look like a romantic movie, and it's not. There's really no romance in it, though, because you think the main guy and the gal vampire, but it's more her and the commander, because you could tell they have a tension between them, and it's more than just being pissed at each other. But they never go in depth. That's probably going to be in the for the next movie. I like to call him low budget Wolverine, because he kind of looked like Wolverine. The actors in this, the main vampire, do you know who that was?
David Morrissey.
Yeah, his voice was like, oh, I know that voice. It's the governor.
Yes.
And that was very cool. I like that. And all the other actors except for the commander soldiers, none of them are Serbian, Bosnian, anything like that. They're all Australian, European, or American actors. So that was pretty good, because I actually thought this was a foreign movie that way, but it was really good. It was entertaining. And the Drac guy, he's played by Luke Roberts, who was in a lot of TV series and stuff. Ransom, I think, is one of them. I don't know if you ever seen Ransom. It's a Canadian show. Anyway, I enjoyed this. It was good pick.
The main vampire in it was the governor from Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
I kept sending Rich photos of Snape and photos of the girl from The Ring.
Well, he wasn't really recognizable.
No.
Because his hair was in his face.
No, and I'm like you said, the voice. It's like, I know this actor, and I'm looking at him, and the long hair covering the face, and it was only during the end credits that it was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
But Morrissey makes a epic bad guy.
Yeah, he does. He did a really good job. I mean, this was really entertaining. And the female vampire, she was in that Vikings sequel, Valhalla. She plays Freydis. And she didn't even look like that. I was like, oh, okay. If you've watched that series,
this show was. I was glad that it lived up to my expectations, because I was really looking forward to it. Y'all know, I love apocalyptic vampire tales. That's what I'm actually writing one now, as y'all probably know. And it was so well done. That Balkan background really, really just, it was just perfect.
Yeah, it was good.
Because it had that old world kind of vibe to it, but still,
Before I jump in, Max, if you take a shot every time Fred acts up and I yell at him, you're going to be drunk within the first 10 minutes. So, see, I liked the fact that it was set in the Balkans in 92 because it was a slaughter zone. And nobody would really be knowing if it was vampires or humans, the mercenaries doing it. Right. I went into this movie I go into all the movies with no expectations. I mean, some of them are so horribly bad. Some of them are horribly bad on purpose. Killing. This movie is fantastic. It starts out on a high action note and it keeps on going. There's very few moments when it slows down and you're like, oh, I can't wait to get this to the end of this. The acting was brilliant. I mean, the mercenaries were assholes.
Yeah.
I liked the contradictory aspects of Tesla, the female vampire. The relationship and what happens between the Dampyr and his manager is very good. And just when Morrissey goes into full vampire mode near that end scene, it is phenomenal. My favorite scene, and I'm not going to describe it, people will understand why, is when the three of them, the head of the mercenaries, the Dampyr and Tesla, run into the former mercenaries that had been turned into vampires. I was laughing my ass off at that scene.
Hey, Mona.
Hi, Mona. But this was a fantastic movie. I think everything about this, the cinematography was great. The acting was really good. The plot was good. The setting was good. I mean, setting in the Balkans in 1992. Yeah, I agree with you, Hadley. Where was he during those hundreds of years period? But, by the time 10, 15 minutes into the movie, you didn't care.
No,
it was good. I'm going to give this one a 4.8. But this is now one of my top 10 vampire movies.
Yeah. It crushed it. I mean, I'm hesitant to say this because I'm gonna make somebody mad, but I think this might be better than Blade.
No.
No, I disagree with you.
See, Blade is completely different. Blade is an action adventure.
Yeah.
You know, this.
But it's also a comic book.
Yeah.
Well, so was 30 Days a Night. See, I put
No, that
this.
was a graphic novel. That's different.
What?
It's different. Graphic novels are like they're more short.
No, all right, I'll grant you that one.
Comic books are ongoing forever.
See, I put this in the 30 Days a Night category. It was great. I loved it. The vampires were just cruel and evil. There was no redeeming qualities to them except for Tesla. Going back to Tony's question, the gore and special effects were good. I don't know if they were practical, but what do you guys think? I didn't catch the. I mean, there was definitely CGI with all the fireworks, and the red glows. But I think most of the bloody scenes and the next turnover were special effects. What do you guys think?
I think there's a good mix of practical and CGI. I think they did it pretty good. So if you can tell, when they were doing the but it was meant to be.
Which one was this on? Netflix?
I think it's on Prime, but you have to buy it.
Yeah, it's pay-per-view right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I doubt. Pretty sure it'll be out shortly. Let me look and see.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the cover of it just does it a disservice. I think it makes it look like a romantic.
Yeah.
Movie,
Well, that's just marketing.
Yeah, I know, but I think the marketing should have been maybe a little different than that.
And that was another thing I liked about it. It didn't become a love story between her and one of the guys.
Right. Though I think her and the commander, was it Gorka or something like
that? So you can buy this for $12.99 on Amazon, or you can rent it for $5.99. Totally worth $6.
Buy it if you're gonna rent it for $6.
Yeah, this is what I'm gonna buy.
Spend the extra $6 and buy it. I don't know if there was. Go ahead, take this.
I'm gonna defend my stance on the Blade thing. Blade was great for the one movie, but the other two movies didn't really follow up. And this one already set up, to me, I want to see the prequel. I want to see the after. I want to know where this is going. I want to know the backstory. I want to know everything about this. And I did not have that same curiosity about Blade. Blade was a great movie, and I love it. Don't get me wrong. It's one of my top 5. But really, it was a standalone movie.
I'm going to disagree with you on one thing. I loved Blade 2 a little bit more than Blade 1. Blade 3, it was a Ryan Reynolds movie, and they included Blade in it. So,
well, they were trying to do the Sons of Midnight thing in Blade 3. They're Hannibal King and all that, and it didn't work very well. But it was a fun movie. I thought it was fun. People hate it.
Well, I went to see it, but not my favorite.
Yeah,
Blade 2 is great because it's got the team of vampire mercenaries.
Oh
yeah, I like that.
So, this is a good movie, Hadley. I wouldn't say it's, in my opinion, which means a lot, of course. I don't think it's better. It's a good movie. I really liked it. I enjoyed it. I was surprised. I thought Hadley picked a vampire movie. Oh my gosh, it's going to be all romance. No,
that's not true. I picked Steakland, asshole.
I'm kidding you.
Fucking swear, Andrew.
Oh, yeah. But no, I was really surprised. It was really good. Not that Hadley picked or anything. I just, like I said, from the cover of it, I thought, oh, here we go, a triangle of, some kind of love triangle. And no, it was a totally different movie. And it was good. I recommend it to everybody.
It caught my attention in the first 5 minutes and kept it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I actually, when I stop working to watch a movie, that movie is phenomenal. And I spent more time watching this movie and rewinding it to watch the scenes over than I did actually writing.
So you rewound this movie more times than Debbie Does Dallas.
No, that movie, that tape broke after an hour and a half. But
I'll give this one a 4.5. And I hope they make a sequel because they did leave it open.
The only bad thing about the sequel, well, no, I can't say anything. So.
Yeah. But no, go see this, rent it. Well, don't go see it.
Yes, you will not be disappointed.
See it. Yes, you won't be.
I'm still standing by. It was fresh. It had a whole new background. It had a modern spin on it that wasn't like ordinary. It was different. It was unique. I enjoyed the F out of it.
Well, good. Yeah, there's only one F in it, right? So, Dampyr.
I think we should start the drinking game. Every time Hadley swears, every time I have to discipline Fred, or every time Fred runs behind the sofa behind me.
I get tickled because when I'm watching you, and I don't, it's little on my screen, but I'll see his little tail like a shark fin.
Yeah.
He's coming to get you.
So, I don't think anyone will be disappointed with this movie. It was fresh and good. I really enjoyed it.
They won't. This one's going to be a classic.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's move on to the automatic pick of the week, Scott.
Fortunately, I got to do this. Mr. Harrigan's Phone. It's a story about this young kid who, on his own, it's not because he's punished or anything like that. The kid's a little different than the jocks and that at school. He goes over to the home of Mr. Harrigan, Donald Sutherland. And Donald Sutherland is this cranky old guy. And he goes over and he reads to him. And they develop a bond of friendship. Nothing weird or anything. It's just he enjoys having the kid come over, and he makes the kid read classic literature. So the kid's learning a lot. And the kid enjoys it because Mr. Harrigan is very nice to him. He advises him. They become friends and almost like a, master student. And Mr. Harrigan passes away. Old age, natural. And he leaves the kid. The kid didn't realize how much he was worth. The kid was doing this just because he enjoyed it. I think it was $300,000.
800.
800,000. Oh, and before that, he was an old crotchety guy, and he buys Mr. Harrigan a cell phone. And the scenes where he's teaching Mr. Harrigan, because Mr. Harrigan is a businessman. I'm not going to use this, but you can check the stock market on it, and I did find it kind of funny how Mr. Harrigan, who hated technology, would start getting so involved in the technology. He wasn't listening to the kid when he was reading. So when Mr. Harrigan dies at the funeral, the kid puts the cell phone in Harrigan's pocket as his way of, letting him have something with him. And that night, he's very lonely. He's very upset. So he sends a text to the cell phone. Mr. Harrigan, I really miss you. I wish you were here. A few minutes later, he gets a response. And from there, the movie continues. And you're not really sure if it's a coincidence, if it's hacking, if it's supernatural. And unfortunately, I did not like this movie. The acting, no, don't get me wrong, the acting was good. Donald Sutherland, I don't care what he does, Donald Sutherland is good in it. Cinematography was great. But as a supernatural ghost story, it fell flat on its face. And as a movie of on Golden Pond, a movie about the crotchety old man and the young kid, bonding together and, helping each other and move them along. It fell on its face because of the poor supernatural aspect of it. I got to admit, I'm sorry, guys. I think this was one of the most boring movies we've seen this year. And I know
Wow.
I'm going to get torn apart by that from Hadley.
Do you want to go, Hadley?
Yeah, let me go. First off, let me say again, it's like Scott and I watch different movies. One, I'm not gonna say it was a great movie. I'm gonna say that it was not a bad movie. It was not what I was expecting it to be, and it had all the elements that it could have been. So it was kind of a letdown in that regard. But the one of the things to me that was so beautiful about this, and like I said, I said beautiful, was the development of the friendship between this little boy and this old crotchety man. But then also, the minute that he gave Mr. Harrigan that phone, you saw the grips of technology just kind of corrupting who he was. So I was thinking, oh, it's going to get real here. And Mr. Harrigan's going to be on the other side and he's going to be all evil because he's been corrupted by the damn text messaging. No, that's not how it went. But it could have. It very possibly could have, but no, it wasn't, it didn't get spooky like that, but it was more about the Mr. Harrigan very clearly tells the little boy from the get-go about all of the terrible things about technology when he gets the phone.
Yeah.
And you mean they can't charge you? You mean this is free? Well, and I mean, it was just, you kind of see, well, yeah, he was kind of right on to something there. And so it was really interesting, and like I said, it had some creepy overtones. To me, this was like that gothic literature that you read when you were like in the in junior high. It was like something you read in a school book. It wasn't scary, but it was intense in some ways. Enough to make you uncomfortable, but not enough to scare you because you don't want to scare the children. And that was kind of how I took this. And like I said, it wasn't an A+. This isn't a 5-star, but it was very well done. And for someone who, I mean, it was worth watching. I didn't feel like I lost time. There's been many that we've watched and sat through that I think, oh my God,
Yeah.
it's 2 hours of my life I'll never get back. I didn't feel that. I felt that I was entertained and that it was a well done movie, but it just wasn't the horror that I was looking for.
The horror.
Yeah. I mean, it's Halloween, man. I want something scary. And so I did not find that, but I did find that it was entertaining, and I will never, ever, ever hear Tammy Wynette sing Stand By Your Man again and not get a little bit creeped out. So there I go. I'm done, Alan. It's your turn.
There's a point Tina and I were sitting there watching this, and I was in my mind, I was thinking, this is well written and well acted. And she said, right after I thought that, she said, hey, the acting in this is really good. The writing was really good. And I thought, that's the same thing I was thinking. Up to a point, it was drawing the kid in with Donald Sutherland and their friendship was great. I mean, it was a natural progression. Even the kid with his dad, his dad was just widowed, and their relationship. I mean, it was kind of organic, and it was interesting. And then it turned into a supernatural thing. And like Scott said, it was good on the heartwarming part, but then it stopped.
Yeah.
And then you had this weak ass supernatural part because you thought, oh man, the kid's going to get evil and start doing all this, and that, and getting revenge on all these people because of what was going on, And it really didn't. I mean, he kind of did in a way, but then he regretted everything.
But didn't you think that was nice to see?
Oh yeah, those people had it coming.
Well, no, I mean, like, it was nice to see someone do something and regret it.
Oh yeah,
it was nice because we don't normally get that,
because you wanted to like the kid. The kid was likable,
but the kid didn't do anything. He just punched the bully. when the bully was giving him a tough time.
Well, yeah, the bully thing, Harrigan went on his own, but he did call him
Oh yeah,
on the drunk driver, and say, "Hey, I want him good."
yeah.
And the relationship.
Okay, go ahead.
Before I lose it, Scott, that the relationship between him and the teacher was kind of weird. Didn't it get when they were like real close talking, and the way she was looking at him and he's looking at her?
I thought so too.
Yeah, it kind of creeped me out. Like, are we going to have a third storyline going on here?
See, I just thought, I took that as she understood him and she reached out to him, that he was the special student. He was the smart one, and she was there for him to support him. Not that she wanted to make an X-rated, MILF teacher movie with him. But I kind of...
Scott knows all about that. He's got a big word.
He had that one on. He had that one in the chamber ready to go.
You should see the video cabinet beside me. I don't know. I kind of like the fact, they set it up very well. The kid was an idiot. The kid was drunk. The kid was rich. The kid was getting away with it. Everybody was letting him off the hook. This whole thing about, oh, you're privileged. Don't worry that you wipe somebody out and, cripple the other guy. But yeah, it was kind of after he did it, made the request, and then he felt guilty about it.
Well, I like when the guy got sentenced, the truck driver got sentenced to the sanitarium or whatever, the clinic, rehab, and you saw that smirk on his face.
Yes.
And you're like, okay, this guy's got to die. Yeah. But like I said, the beginning was good. It was like a Stand By Me type of, this was a Stephen King short story. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. I
didn't know that.
Yeah, it was. They had it in the end credits. So, I mean, all that part was your standard Stephen King, growing up in a small town crap that he always writes.
Well, I thought about that when it was in Maine.
Yeah.
I thought about, I was surprised it's in a Stephen King. I guess it was.
It's based on a short story. And so that part was all good. But the supernatural part just didn't hold its own on it. And like you said, Hadley, it wasn't scary, and that's what we want this time of year. We want scary. This is more of a human interest growing. The kid was growing up into being the person he's going to be. And he actually proved to be a good person at the end, because he could very easily carry this on, and Harrigan's kind of not that person we thought he was either, with the text that he was sending him when he figures them out, So it had its good parts. It did, but it is a super slow, non-scary, had some intense creep elements, but just it didn't get there.
It had potential.
It did. No, I agree. And I enjoyed. I did like this movie. I did for what it was. It wasn't the movie I thought it was going to be.
The only thing with the sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Scott.
The only thing with the creep potential was the way they built it for the first hour and 10 minutes. If it had gotten horribly scary, it would have completely changed the whole idea of the movie.
Right.
That's why it was like, it started as a great, and like I said, I used the on Golden Pond, the old guy and the young kid bonding and getting each other through. But then it shifted to this really G-rated paranormal stuff.
Yeah, it didn't, even the gore, there wasn't even any gore in it, and in that the kid that was the bad guy, he was weird. He was, I kept
I just felt sorry for him. I was like,
you did.
Acne cream.
Sorry, which kid?
No, the creepy kid.
Oh.
He had like a little breakout, and he just needed to have something to fix that. He would have been better.
Yeah.
Well,
go ahead, Scott.
The actor that was really good in this, he played the role perfectly, was the bully.
Yeah. Well, he played it weird. I mean, if I felt if the main character would stop eyeballing him all the time, the guy wouldn't even notice him. But the kid would always eyeball that bad guy. He'd be over there, and the kid would just like, and it's like, don't look at him, man. And he'd come over. Are you looking at me? Yes, I am.
I just felt bad for him.
Well, you did. It was weird.
The bully?
Yeah, the bully I thought was weird. Like a weird dude.
See, I almost got the impression with the bully that he was bullied at home.
Oh, that's what it seemed like.
He just seemed, like I said, it was sad. The way that it came across to me was that this kid was very insecure, and he was looking for someone to bully because he was, in the pecking order.
Yeah, and it seemed like sometimes he didn't want to hurt him, but he did, but it's like, I don't know.
Well, yeah, there was some
Well, he gave him the phone back. I was surprised about that.
I was too. And the main character, that kid, he was in It. He was the main character in It, I think.
Oh, okay. That's why
speaking of, Pet Sematary, the
new one.
The new one's coming out. Are y'all gonna watch it?
I might watch it. I'm gonna wait on The Exorcist though, because I've heard that is getting horrendous reviews.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Well, I saw previews for Pet Sematary, and it looks really good.
I'm going to admit something here that's going to get me banned from this show. I've never seen the full version of Pet Sematary.
Really?
The original one with Fred Gwynn and that. No.
I saw that at the theater when I was in the 11th grade with my then boyfriend.
Oh, I bet that was scary.
Hooker Burton. Yep. It was scary.
He knew what movie to pick. That's for sure.
It was a bunch of us that went. I think I picked it. I always like the horror.
I love that.
But I read that book, and that book was, Church the Cat.
They never do the book justice and all the sequels.
But man, that little baby with that switchblade.
Yeah.
And the baby getting ran over by the diesel truck.
Oh, that was the worst part about it.
Yeah. That was horror. That's horror right there. It's like, ugh. I just know I don't want to be buried in a pet cemetery.
Oh, I love that song.
Yeah.
I don't want to be buried.
That's the Ramones, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That's good.
That and the KKK took my baby away. I used to have that cassette and play it on my way to and from school.
KKK took my baby away.
Yeah. And you can't forget Rock and Roll High School.
Oh yeah, rock.
Yes, and the movie they made with PJ Souls.
Yeah.
Boy,
wasn't she in Halloween?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. She was the blonde whose boyfriend gets stuck up in the kitchen.
She had her little hair in the pigtails.
Yes.
Well, what are we going to give this one, Abby?
I think I'm probably going to give it a 3.75.
All right. Stop.
It wasn't a 4.
I'm being extremely more generous because of what you guys said. I'm giving it a 1.5.
All right, Scrooge McDuck. I'll give it a 3.5. It's not one I would watch again, but it did have some good writing and acting in it. But it's not a horror movie. No,
yeah, you're not going to hate yourself for watching it. You're not going to feel like you lost time. But I mean, it's not. It was not for the season for sure.
Yeah, I didn't feel like I wasted my time, but
though I have to say, I'm so excited about that movie I told y'all about earlier today. What did I call it? Silent Night with Joel Kinnaman and directed by John Woo.
John Woo.
Yes.
I am looking forward. Have y'all watched the previews yet?
Not yet.
I am so looking forward to this Christmas to watch the one we watched last year. What was it? Violet Night?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
With the Nordic Viking Santa Claus.
That's streaming free all over the place right now.
I gotta find it and download it.
It's on a bunch of
Yeah,
platforms right now.
it's getting time for Thanksgiving too, or turkeys.
I've already picked the worst
I've got.
Thanksgiving movie ever. So
Have
I
you seen that
know.
new? There's a new Thanksgiving horror movie out.
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I think it's Eli Roth.
Oh, then I'm definitely
Ooh.
gonna watch it.
I think it's actually from that trailer that he made. Finally, they're going to make it into a movie, or it's made into a movie.
Oh, the trailer from the Death Proof
From Grindhouse. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So I believe I haven't delved into it, but I've seen it floating around. So
Well, this Silent Night movie is directed by John Woo, and the producers are the same people who did John Wick. And it looks, which y'all know I'm a huge John Woo fan, so I'm really excited about that. So if it's streaming around Christmas, we will be watching it
All right.
if I can find it.
cool. Well, speaking of John Wick, have you been catching up on the Continental?
I saw the first 2 episodes. I'm getting ready
Mhm.
for the third. What about you?
Oh yeah, I'm where you're at. It's okay.
Did you get us set up to do a panel on anything?
If you want to, it seems like people are kind of like, I don't hear any big buzz about it. Have you?
Not about it, but there's other stuff that's coming out that we could do.
Yeah, we should. I was
There's
thinking this.
what was there something that looked really good that's coming out?
Oh, here we go. Tony says release date November 17th for Thanksgiving, directed by Eli Roth. Yeah, yeah. So I wasn't imagining it. I thought I was for a minute. That'd be good.
Oh, the fall of the House of Usher.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
That would be a good one to do a panel on. It will either suck or it will be great. So
That
maybe
sounds
not a
scary,
panel.
Mona. Yeah, we got to find something to do a panel on. Definitely something that's catchy. I don't know if the Continental is or not. I haven't heard anybody really, going, "Oh, yeah, I loved it. Thought it was great."
Or hated it.
I'm not in love with the Continental.
Oh.
Are you?
No, it's watchable.
Well, it's watchable because you want to know the backstory to John Wick. But
Mhm.
other than that, I mean, I'll just tell y'all what I think about it. Since Scott hasn't watched it, and I know he doesn't have time for a lot of stuff. Scott, I'm just gonna say, it let me down in regards to Ian McShane's character.
It does. The guy doesn't even. I mean, there's been a couple times he sounds like him for a minute,
But
no.
He doesn't. He does not have the magic that is Ian McShane.
He doesn't. He doesn't. Speaking of Ian McShane, I was watching Tubi the other day, and they had this old series called The Fantastic Voyage from the mid '70s. Ian McShane played a pirate captain on it.
Oh.
I'm watching it, and he comes out, and I'm like, "Holy shit, that's Winston from John Wick!" And he had a big role in that episode. I'm thinking he probably thought, "Is this the height of my career? Right here, some cheesy sci-fi series." But that was funny to see him young, and he wasn't as gravelly voiced.
The Fantastic. Now that wasn't based on the movie, was it?
No, it's more they land on this island in the Bermuda Triangle, and all these different time zones are there, and there's pirates, aliens, shipwrecked people. It was made in '77, I believe, and ran a season. And they made a movie, compressed it together, made a movie out of it. Not worth watching at all.
Well, we do have on December 1st the new Godzilla movie coming out.
Well, and there's going to be a series about Godzilla on Apple TV. Is it Apple?
Yes. It's a prequel to all the other Monarch movies.
Yeah, this was with the Monarch company, right?
What sounds terrible, Max? The Godzilla -0?
Continental.
The Continental, or
the Continental is not terrible. It is just not John Wick.
It's not. It could have been something else. It could be something else.
That's what Ash said. He says it's all right, but it's doesn't meet the standard. Though he did like the background story to John Wick.
The background story?
About how John Wick, became involved with Ian McShane and how he eventually became the assassin. Isn't a kid in there who's John Wick?
No, he's too young.
No.
Then
It's his
I'm going to
brother.
have to talk to my brother-in-law and see if he's been drinking again.
Yeah, he's too young.
He's talking about the brother.
Yeah, it's Ian McShane and his brother, and then
Go Mona.
The brother is written to explain why Ian McShane's character had that soft spot for John Wick.
Oh,
yeah. And actually, the brother's a better character than his, but
Best character of the show.
yeah, but
Him and the wife, she's crazy, and I love her.
yeah, I mean, there's some good killing in it. It's 70s New York, they capture it pretty well. They overdo it, but it looks great. That part's all fun, but it's just not. If you're go ahead, Hadley.
There's too many characters.
Yeah, there is.
There's too many characters to fill out in 3 episodes.
Yeah. And if you're looking to see John Wick, ish, it's not really John Wick-ish. It's got ties to it. It's got the Continental. It's got the high table. The coins that they use, but it's just not. I don't know. It doesn't feel like
a dead cow.
Let me explain this. So y'all know that, like, my book that I was going to write, that there had to be a backstory to it. And then I started writing it, and there had to be a backstory to it, and that's the story that I wrote. That's the Continental. It's the 3 backstories back from John Wick.
Yeah.
It's because somebody had to put the nails in the coffin, I guess. But it doesn't have any of the magic that makes John Wick.
No.
Mona.
Though it did have those weird twins.
You mean the ones from The Shining?
No, these were weirder.
Yeah.
Mona, if you love Godzilla movies, they are releasing Godzilla 2000 on November 1st in select theaters. The original Japanese version, it's in subtitles. So if you want to go see it, go get your tickets now. I hear it's selling. I already got it for me and my nephew, so we're going to go see that.
Cool.
Just doing a public service.
Thank you. The series looks good, and finally someone's using Kurt Russell and Wyatt Russell as the same character. Awesome.
I just hope Kurt Russell isn't sitting in a little shack somewhere with a blow-up doll drinking whiskey.
Yeah, right. We all suspect each other.
Speaking of bad movies, I watched. Y'all are gonna die when I tell y'all what I watched last night. Fast and Furious, like 15, whatever the latest one is. I watched
Is that
it.
the one where he turns the torpedo or whatever with his hand? That's coming out.
This is the one that he drives his car down the dam.
I haven't seen it.
I stopped at number 3.
Oh, it was just on Peacock, and Peacock was on, so it was streaming.
Are they
Speaking
fun?
of Kurt Russell apparently was in at some point one of the movies I did. I've seen like
That's
2 of the
right.
movies, and this is the 3rd. So I don't
That's
know
right.
what's happened in between.
He is in those. There's a bunch of people in those. They get everybody in there.
Well, this had Charlize Theron in it. It had Mrs. Marvel or Captain Marvel, whatever her name is, Brie Larson.
Oh, yeah.
It had John Cena, Jason Momoa, who apparently was having a moment during the filming of this movie. It was pretty good. I mean, it wasn't bad. I was entertained. There was lots of cars blowing up and fast cars, and
That's
I
what they
figure
are.
if I'm ever laid up, like with pneumonia and can't write or that, I'm just gonna like go through that series. What I've been watching the past couple of weeks are old B-grade monster and horror movies from the 40s and 50s.
Yeah, I've been catching up on Yellowstone.
Uh,
That's what I've been watching.
I've been thinking about Yellowstone.
I I don't know what they're gonna do, you know. But I'm tired of Taylor Sheridan. He's in so many of those episodes running these horses to a complete stop, and I'm getting bored of that.
That's a thing, though.
Yeah, it is. There's people that love that, but I'm like, okay, I saw it once. Please stop.
Those horses, I mean, there was one horse they had on there that, like, the people that own the horse, I know horse stuff, so I'm sorry, I'll have to tell you all this. It was, I want to say, like, the 2 seasons back, it was this real expensive horse that they donated a bunch of money to something and won having the horse on the show. So that was like one of those horses that he showed that they brought out there to look at. It was the one that's like silver or something.
Is
It's
that
like a
Metallic
million.
Cat? Is that
Yeah,
Metallic Cat?
that's a real horse, and it's a real expensive horse. And I think they won some kind of probably silent auction thing to do that.
Yeah, 666 Ranch. Yeah, actually, I think they're gonna make a spinoff of that
They're
ranch.
supposed to.
Yeah,
666 Ranch, where you'll never get to leave.
it's Texas. You're stuck. Don't give me any hate mail for that. I have nothing against Texas.
You better not. You know, they have more tigers as pets in Texas than they have wild in the rest of the world.
Really?
I would
Nope.
think that'd be Florida.
Nope.
No.
Texas.
No, Florida is just known for its gators.
And snakes.
Yeah.
They've got Komodo dragons or monitor lizards or something down in Florida now. It's like, I never want to go to Florida.
Yeah.
Which I'm going next week or the next week. I'm going on the 15th to Florida.
Well, bring your snake repellent.
I know, right?
Get out here, buddy.
Hey,
Hey, buddy.
he's growing up.
Yeah, he's getting old. He's getting old. We were playing that Ask Alexa stuff today.
I saw him in his fancy hat. I didn't know what that meant.
Well, he asked Alexa how big is his papa, and Alexa's like, I don't know.
Who knows?
6-year-old, the things they ask Alexa. Anyway, you better bring some snake repellent there with you.
I know, right? And some Florida man repellent.
That's what I was gonna say.
I'm taking Jennifer with me. No telling what could happen.
And she was never seen again.
It's you cannot say you've experienced the Florida experience until the two of you get drunk and go to a Waffle House at 3 a.m.
No, I live in Mississippi, and my friend Christine, I did that. If anyone read my book Dawnbreaker, there's a scene in it where that someone is singing Purple Rain, and that was us at 3 a.m. in the Waffle House in downtown Jackson.
That's one of the few things I really miss about Florida, Waffle House.
Yeah.
The awful waffle.
We went to one in Nashville. That's pretty good. Hey.
We are the weird people, Mike.
And whatever you do, don't go to the Villages because I don't want to read about any of you and Jennifer's sexcapades.
No, I'm going for work, and she's going to see her friend. So, my organization is getting a big donation. So someone from us had to go, and I'm the person that gets to go. So,
good. Yeah,
every time I see a story in the news about, some couple doing something and getting caught doing something perverted sexually outdoors, I say to myself, Villages, and 9 out of 10 times.
Is that the senior citizen place?
Yes.
Boca Del.
I saw a video on that one day, and it was saying that they had like a STD breakout there.
Highest STD rate in Florida. My ex-wife Allison was a nurse, and she looked that up. They got the highest STD rate, and it's all old folks too. It's like, yes.
Yeah. So what's next week?
I sent y'all a card so y'all could just keep it on your phone and
Next week is Forest of Death. And I picked a Woods movie, the original Cabin Fever.
Cool. Good. Hopefully, I know Cabin Fever's. I've seen that. So it'll be all right.
I'm sorry. The cat and the dog are.
That's all right. I got my own pet running around there.
All right, kids.
Just before we
that's-
go, can I just say, this weekend, 7th and 8th October, Salem Haunted Happenings. It's go to it, period. It's fun. It's absolutely great. But if you are in the Salem area, swing by. The New England Horror Writers Group has a tent there. There'll be several of us selling books, and I will be selling and autographing the Tatiana books.
Cool. They're gonna have a good time.
I hope to.
Yeah, you will.
Unless it rains, it's outdoors.
I'm melting. You'll find out who the witches are, right? Because they'll be melting.
Well, they are going to be in Salem, so.
Yeah.
Well,
all right. Anybody got anything to say?
No.
Alan, what you working on?
I'm nothing. I mean, I'm nothing really. I've got nothing to pass on right now.
And
All
sorry,
right.
let me jump in. Next Friday, Chronicles of Paul 3 comes out.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I wish I had Scott's energy to write.
Right?
Oh, I need to
You
start
would
writing.
if
That's one
you
reason
stayed
I'm taking a break from everything but y'all.
You
Yes,
would if you
I
stayed
will.
up till 4 a.m.
I gotta work. I gotta be up. All right, kids. Well, that's going to do it for us this week. We wish Mr. Restucci a speedy recovery and hope to
Yes.
have him back next week.
Yeah.
And other than that, y'all tune in for Weird Awakenings tomorrow night. It will be going live at 7 p.m. Central Time. That is 8 p.m. Eastern.
What's it about tomorrow?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
All right. Well, good night, everybody.
Oh, witches. They're doing witches.
Oh, witches. Ooh.
Ooh.
I'll have to see if I can get on that show. Yes.
Oh. And this is one witch that will not be there. So I will
Oh.
probably try and tune in, but that'll be it. But love you guys. And y'all know what to do. Stay weird.
Stay weird.
Bye.
Ciao.
Good night. Good night.